Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother ears.
Good evening and welcome to episode 119 of the Stone Age Gamer podcast for the week of September 30th, 2016. I'm Kris Randazzo, and this week is going to be a little bit on the odd side. I am speaking relatively quietly because it's 5:30 in the morning when I'm recording this. As you probably heard on the podcast recently, my wife has been pregnant for a little over, let's say about 9 months now. And she told me about it via Mario Maker level, which makes her awesome. Anyway, her due date was last Friday, and we still don't have a baby yet. So she could, go into labor at any moment now. So planning around the podcast I was just going to take a little bit of time off. But Dan and I had this great idea. Geekade does a 31 Days of Halloween thing in October where we do something about Halloween related every day in the month of October, and we had the idea that we wanted to do a Castlevania retrospective. We were just going to do one this week that kind of just talked about our favorite and least favorite things, but we thought Castlevania deserved better than that. So yesterday I kind of broke down the series into these different chunks and decided that we were going to do 4 straight weeks of Castlevania coverage, and it was going to be awesome. The trouble is that that would still leave this week without an episode because we wanted to do it as part of the 31 Days of Halloween thing. So last night, on a regular recording night, Dan and I sat down and recorded the first 2 parts of our Castlevania retrospective, which was a lot of fun. I was up a little bit too late doing it because, we don't usually do 2 episodes in one night, but whatever. There's no news segments in those because we're recording them ahead of time. We don't know what the news is going to be for those weeks. So that leaves this week open. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hand it over to Dan and his cohorts from the Paper Cuts podcast. The Paper Cuts podcast is a comic book podcast that we do here at geekade.com that features Dan as the host, Dan Ryan, and Dean, who some of you may remember from this very podcast, and our good friend Matt Much. They talk about comics. They agreed to take some time out of their Paper Cuts recording schedule and talk about video games. So they're going to do that, but before I hand it over to them, I did want to talk about one piece of news that made me extraordinarily excited, and that was that Choice Provisions has announced Runner 3. I love the Bit Trip series with all of my heart, and Runner 2 was my most anticipated game on Wii U when that system launched, and it didn't disappoint me, really. I love Runner 2, and the announcement of Runner 3 makes me happy beyond belief. So Runner 3 coming soon. It's also Runner 2 is a game that my wife plays, it's really weird because that game's not easy, and she has now done the entire game on hard mode, and this is somebody who can't beat Super Mario Brothers but has beaten Runner 2 on hardest difficulty. So I'm going to probably write all about that on the Stone Age Gamer blog one of these days. This is where I am going to leave you and hand you over to the fine folks at the Paper Cuts Comic Book Podcast. They're familiar voices, and that's all I got. Keep playing games.
Good evening, and thanks for listening to the Stone Age Gamer episode 119 for the week of September 30th. I am your fill-in host this week, Dan Ryan, and joining me is Matt Much.
Hi, I haven't been on this in a while.
No, you haven't. It's been different. And also joining us this week, Mr. Dean DeFalco.
And you can't teach that.
That's incredibly accurate, actually.
It is 127% accurate. We are doing a quick little fill-in show for this week, mostly because Chris's wife, Karen, is about to pop out a baby girl any minute now. Chris is going to have 2 little rugrats fucking up his house as opposed to just the one that is destroying things currently. So we're doing things a little bit differently on the Stone Age Gamer. Chris and I recorded a couple episodes for the month of October already. They're already in the can. We are going to be doing a Castlevania retrospective for the month of October, tying it into our 31 days of Halloween coverage. We've split the Castlevania series because there were a lot more games than we realized when we started talking about it. We figured, well, shit, we can do a whole month on this. So that's what we're going to do. We're splitting it up between 8-bit, 16-bit, Metroidvania-style stuff, and then next gen and all the weird things that happen in the world of Castlevania. But you're going to have to wait a week to check that out. For this week, what we thought we'd do so that you, our listeners, don't go without a Stone Age Gamer, the 3 of us are going to talk about some of the weirder news stories that popped up over the last week or so. Mr. Matt Much pulled most of these for us, so thank you, Matt, first of all, for doing the legwork, and second of all, for being just generally pretty sexy.
Oh, you're making me blush.
You guys can't see it, but he is actually blushing.
That's why I hide behind this giant microphone.
This giant
It's
pop
not that
screen.
big.
No, it's not that big. Anyway,
Also,
no, go
I just
ahead.
want to say, I'll have to see when the episodes come out if you manage to play that one Castlevania that was only on dumb phones.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about that one.
Because I played that briefly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Don't you worry. No gravestone shall be unturned, as they say.
Oh, that was a good one.
Oh,
10 points.
That was fucking
Clever because it's about dead stuff.
something.
What?
Death and Hades and what have you. Anyway, so let's jump in with our news stories this week. First one, this just makes me chuckle. We talk about on the Stone Age Gamer quite a bit how people have way too much time on their hands. Like,
Seriously.
you could be doing something productive for society as opposed to designing an adapter that will let you use modern wireless controllers with your classic Apple II computer.
Fuck you, bitch. That's modern ass technology right there. Look at that shit. That shit looks high tech with that old ass serial port on the back that nothing uses anymore.
No.
At least the controller looks cool that they made for it in the picture.
The controller does look cool. It's got the old school Apple Rainbow on there. I just have to ask why. We are talking about adapters for how old is the Apple II?
At least 30 years.
40?
Yeah.
40 years?
30 to 40 years old. Like, what? You spent so long wondering if you could. You didn't stop to think whether or not you should. I don't even know what games you would control on here.
Well,
That would be worth it.
The other thing is, did you guys see the price?
Oh, it's
It's a lot of money for something like this.
$70.
Like,
Fucking controller.
did you guys, like, was that your business plan of we want to design a product that no one will buy?
Well, they're making these controllers. The company is 8-Bit Dough.
8-bit dough.
And
8-bit
they've
dough.
made these controllers. They started out for smartphones and PCs.
Right, which makes sense.
But then they started cranking out these weird adapters that adapt Bluetooth to vintage consoles. So they have one for the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo, and now the Apple II.
They missed a few systems in there that they probably would have made more money on. Also, this is the crazy-ass company that makes that analog NT, that retro NES system that's like $400. It's supposed to be
Yeah,
amazing, but it's $400.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. I'm happy that this sort of thing exists, I suppose, but I don't really understand.
It's a niche market.
This is very niche.
It is the nichiest niche that has ever niched. So, all right, moving on. The Sinclair ZX Spectrum Vega Plus Retro Hence handheld game console ships on October 20th. This is a handheld ZX Spectrum.
See, I don't even know what one of those are, so this just looks far. I thought it was like, I was like, Matt, why are you bringing up like a portable that can play emulators? I've seen this before, and then I was like, oh, this is a system I've never heard of.
Well, no, the ZX Spectrum was a European system, and it was super duper popular. Like it made and sold a lot of money. I believe it's European. Maybe I'm completely fucking wrong, but I think it was. But what's cool about this is that it looks sort of like the Wii U controller, probably smaller. I mean, we don't really have a good picture of it, but it's got a similar kind of form factor. But it comes preloaded with 1,000 licensed games.
1,000?
Yeah, like
1,000.
In my head, again, this is something that I've heard very little about. So I was like, they had 1,000 games for this system. I'm like, what the fuck was this?
Is this like Combat on the Atari 2600 that counted itself as 100 games because it had 100 slightly different modes?
Probably. Maybe. I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the news story here, and the price of this system is £100. So this was a European thing. But I believe, man, I could be way off on this, but I believe Rare did a lot of their isometric games on the ZX Spectrum, like games that are now on the Rare Retro Collection on the Xbox One. I believe were on a Spectrum originally. Obviously, not being European, I didn't have one, so I don't really know much about it. But I don't know. I think this thing looks really cool.
It's got tack switches, Dean.
That's all you need, man. That's all you fucking need. Just tack switches for days.
It's entirely tack switches.
Just wait till that NES controller I make hits the market. All tack switches everywhere.
Tack switches for days.
Oh, you think I'm joking?
For days.
Wait till you get the pictures.
I can't wait. Can I have them now?
I'm not naked yet.
Damn it. All right. Well, fine. All right. Next up in the news, and this is just kind of silly. Blizzard killed off the name Battle.net that they had been using since 1996 to refer to their internet platform. They're like, fuck.
That made me sad as fuck. Like, I get what they're going for because a lot of the market tends to try and make all their products under a generalized banner. And for Blizzard, all right, I get it. Like, you have Blizzard and then you have this Battle.net stamp, which maybe doesn't make as much sense as it once did when, like, all this stuff wasn't integrated together. But it's still like the end of an era. To be honest, not much is going to change from a interface standpoint. They're just changing the name and the way they're referring to things. But it's still sad. It's not going to be called Battle.net anymore.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's an interesting change. I don't really see the need for it, I suppose, but it's a thing. It happened.
The only way I could rationalize it is just like when GameStop owned EB Games, Babbage's, Electronic Boutiques, and they're like, no, it all needs to be one thing. That's kind of the only way I could think of it that makes sense in my head.
Yeah. Oh well. So
it's perfect business sense. You take one of the premier brands in online PC gaming, and then you decide, well, we're worried people won't know what the hell it is, so we're just going to kill it. Sure.
Fair enough.
Well,
because now they have stellar rebranding like Blizzard Tech.
Yeah, like the new name is not cooler.
They could have just literally taken out Battle, put in BlizzardNet. Man,
BlizzardNet.
I could be in fucking marketing.
Holy
done
shit.
and done. Yeah. Anyway, so the Wii U is a system that sort of exists. And the reason I say that it sort of exists is because games come out for it
sporadically.
Every now and again. Sporadically is fucking generous, let's be honest.
And sometimes they go back.
They're like, all right. So the big Wii U fall title is Paper Mario Color Splash, and it is available October 7th. Except about a week ago, it was available for the people who had digitally pre-ordered it. It showed up on their Wii U as being available to be downloaded, and people downloaded it, and it was the full game. So the game is done. They're just not releasing it. People have played it. The reviews have been mixed, I think is fair to say. The Nintendo people who, let's face it, are the ones who mostly pre-ordered it, are genuinely enthusiastic about it because everybody loves Paper Mario, and there's nothing else to be excited about on the Wii U this holiday season. But then some other people who've played it have been like, well, it's, it's okay. And it's going to be interesting to see how this affects the overall sales of the game. Like, is this a game where, sort of like Mario Kart 8, if you pre-ordered it and bought it in the first week, then that's about the only people who were getting it. And Mario Kart 8 is a phenomenal game, but the sales are just not nearly what they need to be. I think is true of every Wii U game.
I think the problem is Nintendo's backing what I think is a losing horse for the past few iterations of this title, because
right.
The last good one I remember was for the original Wii. For the life of me, I can't remember the title name of it. But Super Paper Mario, I think it was called. And
maybe.
I thought it was pretty good, even though it was getting away from the more RPG aspects of the game, or like the turn-based stuff that you saw in the original Paper Mario, even the Thousand Year Door. They kind of were just like, no, we're not doing that anymore. We're doing our own thing. Which, all right, fine, cool, whatever. And then they kept getting more and more away from it, and they started making it more and more gimmicky. And, yeah, a lot of the stuff that happens in this game is just, it is what it is. Or anyway, the previous games, because I haven't played this one yet. I probably will. But, yeah, I just don't think this is the best idea for Nintendo to keep making a title that probably hasn't sold well the last few. And I'm sure plenty of Nintendo people are going to generally enjoy the game. I'm sure it's not terrible, but it's just mediocre like the past few have been.
Super Paper Mario.
Thank you.
Are you a Paper Mario fan, Matt?
Not particularly.
Because I've never been either, so
I would consider myself an RPG fan, but I find as I've gotten older, my patience for the classic mechanics has grown thin, which disappoints me, but is sadly true.
Well, yeah. I've never been a huge fan of the series. I mean, they're good, but it is what it is. Nintendo came out and said, oops, it shipped out by accident, which you can kind of take it one of two ways. Either yes, it really did slip out by accident, or we don't really have enough pre-orders for this game, so like, oh shit, we released it early and people seem to like it, so maybe you should pre-order it too. Okay, pull it back.
Oh, I don't know if they'd go that.
Put it back in your pants.
Terribly clever and risky, don't you think?
I think maybe. So. It doesn't seem very much like them, but I don't know. All right, so this next story that you pulled for us, Matt, this one makes me happy because even though I don't like the character even a little bit, I don't.
Oh, Dan, we used to be friends.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, jeez.
The fact that in Japan,
I gotta go.
I'm out.
I got stuff.
Will you be here? Will you be here for paper cuts?
Yeah.
In about 5 minutes.
All right, cool. There exists in Tokyo a pop-up cafe. Pop-up cafes are these things that fucking hipsters really are ruining everything. Like,
I should have known it would just be pop-up. I missed that.
Yeah, of course it is.
Oh, jeez.
I don't understand.
It's temporary.
Yeah, it's temporary. A restaurant or a bar or a thing is opened up for a short period of time, and
so they could charge whatever the fuck they want.
They can charge crazy amounts of money, or
Japanese
sometimes not.
Italian food.
Yeah, it's. So anyway, burying the lead of the story, there is a Kirby, the video game character, the pink puffy ball. There is a Kirby pop-up cafe in Tokyo that has Italian food, and some of it's Italian, some of it
Japanese styled Italian food.
But they also have pancakes. But it's all Kirby themed. Like
very Kirby themed.
There's-
It's not like
It's the best.
It's not like the Hobbit menu at IHOP or whatever, but
Right.
it's like it's Kirby food. It looks like it. It's themed like it.
I'd
yeah.
eat the shit
Yeah,
out of
like-
Kirby's face or Waddle Dee. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, like I'm looking at some Kirby pancakes right here. There's some strawberries that are cut into the shape of stars.
You know what?
Like,
Fuck
this
it.
is.
It's not Denny's. I'm not fucking going.
Oh, Denny's.
No, I
yeah,
know.
it was Denny's. Yeah.
I don't disagree, but
Get me a Grand Slam.
I love that this sort of thing exists. Like, I jokingly say that the fucking hipsters are ruining everything, which they are. That's not a joke. But the pop-up cafe thing is cool because a Kirby cafe probably could not sustain a business plan for years and years and years. But for 2 weeks, that's cool that somebody got to go experience that. You know, give me a fucking Shovel Knight cafe.
I think you're
the menu
severely
is live.
doubting the what? The menu's live?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I linked it. You can look at it later.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm about
We'll put a
this.
link in the show notes.
They have maximum tomato soup. Oh my god! I need a plane ticket.
All right, so we've got 2 more stories to jump into. One that I am just sick of hearing about, Destiny 2, which is a game that, of course, is coming. They say they want to make it feel like a brand new game, and as opposed to all the expansions that they've been releasing for the original Destiny. And man, like I feel the same way about Destiny that I felt about Halo eventually, of like, why is everybody else still playing this game?
It's a great question.
I feel the same
Well-
way about Destiny that I feel about herpes. I don't want them.
I got them, but
I don't want
them. I'm not happy that they're here.
That's exactly how I feel. Or not.
Herpes is a digital download. It's going to be on your account for the rest of time.
It's a badge of honor. It means we all have had a lot of fun. Anyway, so Destiny 2 is a thing that's coming. They want it to feel like a new game as opposed to an expansion pack. So that's a thing. Enjoy it if you will.
All right, fuck it. Skip it. We got one more, and I want to end this in 20 minutes.
Okay, last one. So the holy grail of Mario 64 glitches has been, I suppose, everybody thought it was theoretically possible. Nobody had been able to prove it. It is the moat door skip, which I'm just reading now because I don't know this game at all, so I don't know what any of this means. But apparently the moat door skip is a thing that people have been trying to do for years in Super Mario 64, and somebody was finally able to do it. And the big deal here is that it has taken 39 seconds off of the world record, which, when we're talking about speedrunning, 39 seconds
It's a
is
lifetime.
gigantic
It's an
fucking
eternity,
deal.
yeah.
Yeah, like, that's the sort of thing that nobody then touches. You know, you might get another 1/10 of a second one way or another, but this is just, I don't know. It's a thing that exists.
Damn,
Do you guys
who
know
was-
what this means?
Who is the Olympic runner or the long jumper that beat the record by 2 feet that one time?
I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
know. But it's like that. It's like that. 39 seconds is...
I think it
Sorry,
was
I can't
Danny
remember the
DeVito.
name. Danny DeVito,
It was Danny
Olympic
DeVito.
class long jumper.
Not to mention, big fan of the show.
Not to mention,
Big.
well, he's not a big fan. He's a little guy.
No,
I don't know. See,
man,
now I'm
no.
worried about the jokes I'm going to make because Evan's going to get all offended and I won't be able to say shit anymore.
Nah,
so.
that one wasn't
Well,
so shaky.
no,
I think you're good.
There is no... I mean, we don't know what you're talking about.
No,
What
we
are you-
certainly don't. Anyway, so do you guys even know what the moat door skip is? Is this a thing that you guys care about, or?
I don't know. They knew it was possible from, like, just flat out cheating.
Right.
So they just couldn't figure out how to do it within, I don't know, the abilities of a human.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy basically did something that was previously thought impossible and basically set a new bar for what can be done in this game. So we're going to probably see tons of people improving his technique, doing it again, and then just trying to take milliseconds off the beat him now, which
Yeah.
is likely you're going to see just a whole slew of people after this probably just go back and forth with some times, and then it'll probably settle at some point.
All right. Well, fair enough. That's all the news stories we got, other than a whole bunch of new stuff came out for Pad in Japan today, so we're all super excited about that.
Obviously.
Pumped.
Very excited about the reincarnated Shiva evolution.
She died?
No, it's badass.
Now she's back.
He gets super sweet wings and a new typing and a dark subcolor. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. So that's going to do it for this week's show. Thanks once again for listening. If you want to get a hold of any of us, you can always send us a mail. That's mail@geekade.com. If you want to follow any of us individually on Twitter, you can follow me. I'm at GeekAdeDan. If you want to follow Dean, you can follow him at
Kimono_Vestlord.
And if you want to follow Matt, you can follow him at
Bob Beeman beat the long jump record by 21 and a half inches.
That is the longest Twitter handle ever, and
I
no
know,
one
just
is going to
try
remember
to
it.
tweet me. Try it.
Fucking, I dare you.
No, I'm
I
at
dare you.
Geekade Matt.
Okay, I think Kris actually wrote me a script for this that I'm supposed to be reading, but
Nah,
fuck
fuck
it,
it,
I'm
too
not
late.
going to.
21 and a half minutes, 21 and a half inches he beat the record by. It's spooky.
Good to know. Thanks,
That is
Matt.
freaky.
We would like
Sure.
to send a special thank you to Mark TDK Knight, who provides our theme song. You can find a link to his website, his Bandcamp, all that good stuff down in the show notes, as well as links to any of the other stuff that we talked about. Make sure to tune in next week when Kris and I are back with part 1 of our retrospective on Castlevania. For Matt Much, for Dean DeFalco, for Kris Randazzo, and for our silent producer, Evan, and for Dan Ryan. I am Dan Ryan.
Oh my god.
It sounded like you were
Too
going to
far?
say retro rectum.